All right. Yeah. It looks like it's time for some country songs. Yes, go for it.
Can we go?
You can either come up here and do it, or you can stay at your seats and do it. Sorry?
We're going
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Are we doing this?
Okay.
I'm doing the album.
Yes. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2. You know I like my metal ground. After upsetting, it gets real round. Metal forging and snagging all over town. Lapping and slapping to the forging sound. And dicking. Yay, 5 points!
All right.
Oh, that makes up for Austin.
Shit, bro, we didn't make a melody.
Sure.
I just have the lyrics. Can we do it? We can do it line by line.
All right, this is going to be fantastic.
Go ahead and start it off. All right. Have my hot dog and beer, doing some thinking.
Gotta get some metal and deuce me some thinking.
My dog ran up for some abrupt petting.
But then spilled my beer, which was very upsetting.
The dog saw the beer and then started lapping.
But then he got drunk and just went to napping.
Driving my truck and my gears are grinding.
Out of luck, and now I'm finding.
Need more beer, the thought is nagging.
On this corn, my clothes keep snagging.
Wow.
5 points, clearly.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So we're still like trying to say it at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Driving along in my grinding old truck.
Grinding old truck. Small waves lapping in my chords. I don't give a fuck. I'm setting the way I live my life. But snagging a beer is my only way for the strife.
All right, who else?
What is this? You're not Shakespeare.
Who else? Who wants to do it? Anybody wants to do it?
I can do the album from here.
No, you have to come up. Don't pass out that.
I remember my part.
I'm scared. Shade.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2. I was dinking around in my truck.
Yeehaw!
Allowing up beer, trying to deal with my boss. He just can't stop grinding up on my gears.
Yup.
My wife's upset cause I shot another duck.
21.
If I snag my coat, I'm gonna just snap.
Yes!
All of them are about beers and trucks.
Is that country song?
I only have one sentence because I misread it.
No.
It says, yeehaw, if I'm dinking, upset, and lapping, grinding, and snagging, my ma is gonna enforce the law. And that's the whole thing.
All right, nice. Compact. It's a very short song. It's yeah.
There's like a guitar solo in there.
Yeah, that's right. Below that it says bam.
Got this.
Okay, lapping up the moonlight.
On a Friday night,
I was dinking and drinking,
upsetting my girl
grinding her gears.
and snagging her pearls.
That's
Very good. All right, anybody else want to? All right, 5 points if you got up here and did it. 4 points if you didn't.
What? Give them less.
2.5.
2 points.
I think I should
I think so.
All right. Phase diagram, binary, non-eutectic. As far as I know, this group in the front was the only one that got it.
Did you look at our
Remember, non-eutectic means that it just looks like that. It has one melting point there, one melting point there.
Why is our touching though?
Solid.
You know.
Slush.
Like,
Liquid. Yes. Did you do yours? I may.
We don't have ours touching, but the shape is incorrect.
Yeah.
But
No,
can it still go down?
it has to have a single melting point at each end because it is at this end it is a single component.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yes.
If it starts in the corner,
The bottom corner.
bottom corner, is that still?
What does it mean if it starts in the bottom corner?
Then it melts at zero.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so what material do you want to call it?
I don't know.
Theirs originally did that too.
I think it's just like normal.
Mercury. Call it mercury and it's all good. Yes.
Yeah, if there's no slope to it, is that okay? It's just flat?
That's great.
I guess. I don't know that there's ever two materials that have exactly the same melting temperature, but
Alloy it with
you can say it's, it's slightly different and that's fine. Yeah, so.
One's with red 40 and one's with.
All right, so 3 points if you did it correctly, 1.5 if you did a binary eutectic, which most did. How do you name the axes of a machine tool? Yes.
X, Y, and Z.
But how do you know which one is which?
Oh.
Z is the axis that of the drill.
The spinny bit.
Yes.
The spinny bit spins around the Z axis, okay?
Yeah. And then the next longest perpendicular axis is X.
Okay.
The last one is Y.
Okay, so that is correct. So that is 3 points for doing that. And you get an extra half point if you said and A rotates around X, B rotates around Y, and C rotates around Z. If you have rotary axes for a fourth and a fifth axis.
That was incorrect.
If you just put X, Y, Z, you get a half point.
What was
3.
That's what I thought it was.
Key differences between recrystallization and recovery.
Recrystallization is kind of the complete resetting of the part, whereas recovery gains more ductility while keeping its strength.
Okay, good. Yep, that's excellent. Yes?
recrystallization is hot work.
Yes. And recovery is
Cold work.
warm,
Tepid
warm, tepid. Right, it's warm work. So it's in that medium category. Okay, any other? So 2 points if you had an answer like Lois did, and yeah, that's 2 points as well. If yours was kind of in the middle, you can scale appropriately. What would cause one to use a water jet? Yes?
When you want 2D geometry and you have a flat sheet of metal usually, and it's not a super thick material, like more than a ½ inch or something like that.
Okay. Flat is probably a pretty good description. It does not have to be metal. So
I wrote material.
it's a little
I misspoke, I'm sorry.
And ½ inch is really only the limitation. Well, yeah, ours can do up to 4 inches. We don't ever because it's super expensive to do that. But yeah, those are good things. Yes.
I said anything that's non-ferrous is more expensive than plasma cutting, so anything that's ferrous, you're going to probably turn to plasma cutter for 2D stuff. Plasma table. I mean, of course you can go with your surface finishes, but composites, plastics, and all that other jazz, like stone and stuff like that, needs a water jet.
Yeah, so instead of non-ferrous, I would say non-metallic. Because metallic you can run on, any metal you can run on the plasma cutter, though you'll kill yourself with a couple of them, but that's okay. The main difference between the plasma cutter and, well, metallic requirement of the plasma cutter is 5 times faster and 5 times less accurate. So that's the big thing there. Yes?
The biggest thing I was going to say was like intricate 2D pieces.
Okay, yeah, so we call them 2D, but it's actually 2.5 dimensional because we're adding that depth to it. It's not just drawn, so we call it 2.5 dimensional, that's fine. but 2D, I know what you mean. It is good to know that water jets can do a lot more than that. So you can get a 5-axis water jet that can cut all kinds of angled edges on things. They're really cool. And they're not that much more expensive. We didn't get it because we wanted the machine to be super robust so students could use it and not worry about damaging it. So anyway, yes.
It's also a medium to low budget CNC option.
Yes.
So you're not paying for EDM, you're paying for water jet.
Yeah. Medium to low for the machine or for the process?
For operation.
For operation, yes. Because it's relatively fast. All right, those are all good. Those are all worth 2 points clearly. What's ironic about end mills? Yeah, you use the side. We primarily do peripheral milling with end mills. We do use the end, but not that much. So that is worth 2 points if you said use the side, 2.5 if you said peripheral. The 3 pairs of variations in risers. Yes?
Open and close, hot and cold, side and top.
Okay, yes. Open and close, side and top, and hot and cold. Right, so half point each for a total of 3. If you miss, half point each for a total of 3.
Yes, there are 6.
If you got 4 or 5, then you can, work that out. What are the 3 pairs of force vectors in machining? Yes?
There's the shear
Shear?
force vector, and then the friction force vector, and then the normal force, which point this way to make the circle.
Okay, but they're pairs, so which go together?
Shear and opposite, force normal to shear.
Shear and normal to shear.
And then friction and normal to friction.
Friction and normal, all right?
And now I don't know the last one.
Okay. The last ones are the ones that we can measure.
Cutting force?
Cutting and thrust. Yes, half point each.
Wait, half point for the pairs?
Half point for each. So for a total of 3, there are 6 of them. 6 vectors. Band names. Who came up with the coolest band name? Yes.
Ours is a duo band, and we are Cope and Drag.
Cope and Drag. 2 points. Excellent.
Die Hammer Forge.
I just looked at the when I was reading it, and I think closed Die Hammer Forge would be cooler, but Die Hammer Forge is pretty cool. 2 points. Yeah. Stressed egg. Nice. 2 points.
Ours is David and the Breaking.
Okay. Nice. 2 points.
The photochemical edges.
Okay. Good. 2 points.
Sat in a pile of snark.
Sorry.
Snark, isn't that the stuff that's in the...
Swarf.
Swarf.
Swarf. 1.5 points. Good idea.
We're sort of in the same vein as the closed die hammerers.
The closed die hammerer, which is all good except for saying it. So you'll have to be the CEH band. Excellent. 2 points.
You've met your end mill.
Nice. 2 points. Good work. Anybody else? Okay. Let's see. Where are we? 3 purposes of flash.
It keeps the hammer from hitting the mold or the die, so
Okay.
it doesn't directly slam into the...
All right. It's the 2 halves of the die from slamming into each other.
Yes.
Okay.
It like that was the part. If there wasn't any flash, there'd probably be gaps in the part.
Because
if excess is coming out, that means that the mold is filled.
okay. Half point.
It prevents any more flash.
Yes, because what does it do? How does it do that?
Just closes the system.
Because it is thin and it cools fast. That's right. So it's thin, it cools quickly and creates sort of a belt that holds the whole thing in to fill it, to cause it to fill. Okay?
It causes kind of more force to be acted on it, or like, because it essentially adds a force from the sides, or
Okay.
where it has escaped.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. We'll go with those 3. I don't know what 3 I was thinking of, but anyway, we'll go with those 3 each.
Gil?
Half point each, yes.
If we wrote cheaper, does that count?
Cheaper
Flash.
than to not have flash?
Yeah.
What is cheaper?
The molds.
The
It's-
cost of tooling.
The cost of tooling.
No, the cost of the machine is less.
Oh.
The cost of the parts is more, cause you have to cut it off, and the cost of the die doesn't, change.
The cost of the machine.
Yes.
So the machine, yes. I don't know, like 2-ish points. 2 general capabilities and 2 limitations of the non-trad processes.
We said 2 of the limits were, well, one of them is that they require high amounts of energy
Okay.
typically, and then the other one is that a lot of them are unenvironmentally friendly.
Okay, so they tend to be expensive, they tend to be unenvironmentally friendly.
2 pros is good for hard materials and high detailed machining.
Okay, yeah. So let's go with the limitations. We also have slow and expensive. All right. On the good side, absolutely. Most of them are independent of the hardness of the material, and that's pretty dang cool to be independent of the hardness of the material. So that's huge, and that is the primary reason that they get used. And then ability to do really intricate details, I think, is another. And then the last one that I would say is that some of them can be can work over a huge area at the same time. So the chemical machining and the electrochemical especially, they're deadly slow, except that you can work on the entire part at the same time. So if you're doing deadly slow in any one area, but you're working on the whole thing, the process actually becomes fast. So a half point for each of those. Good work. What are 3 differences between extrusion and drawing? Yes.
Extrusion is hot work and
Okay.
drawing is cold work.
Hot work versus cold work. Excellent.
Extrusion pushes, drawing cold.
Okay. Triaxial triaxial compression versus biaxial compression plus tension. It's a little more full, but yes. Yep.
Extrusion's limited by billet size, so.
Okay, extrusion is limited by the billet size and drawing can be continuous.
Drawing is limited by the tensile strength of the material.
Okay, drawing is limited by the tensile strength. Excellent. Those are all good. Yes, half point each. What are the reasons to do cogging?
No.
You distribute the force or the stress that you're having on the part to a smaller area compared to if you're doing.
So a smaller area, which means that a smaller force is required at any one time. Okay, that's one reason.
The smaller areas will also be more consistent.
Okay, it allows us to be more consistent. And then the last one.
By the time you get to the end, like the grains have like recrystallized or whatever in the beginning.
Okay, so it allows recrystallization because you're working on a small area at a time, allows recrystallization. And so by the time you get back there, any work hardening that might have come through is done. And then the final reason would be with that smaller area, you also get to the point where friction is not the controlling feature of it. So that lowers your stress egg from here to there, which is nice. You get rid of 0.15. What are why is the surface of the rolled part shiny?
How many points was that last question?
2, clearly.
Okay.
Wait, is that apparent? Oh no.
God. Are we getting graded on that?
Yeah, this is the final.
You had an answer? Did you have an answer?
Yeah, sure.
What was your
that would
answer?
be rolling it burnishes the surface and gives
Why?
it.
Yeah, say why, you need to
Well, I
reply. Oh, you're
We wrote that it smooths out the roughness of the material, and then I think that's what makes it shiny, so just the
Half point.
It removes the oxidation layer as it rolls it through.
Half point.
Conservation of volume.
Constancy of volume, 2 points.
Oh.
Right, remember, conservation is fine. The material going in has to equal the material going out. That means that the material coming in, because it's thicker, is going slower than the material going out. That means that the material is accelerating through the middle of the process. The rolls are moving at one single speed. If they're moving at one single speed and the material is going from slow to fast, then there's only one point at which the roll and the material are moving at the same rate. Everywhere else, the roll is rubbing the material because it's either going faster or slower than the material. So that's why it's burnished and shiny. Yes. So 2 points for constancy or conservation of volume. And if you talked about velocity differences, that's also worth 1.5 points. What conditions are needed for welding?
A clean surface, a controlled environment, and heat and friction, or friction.
Okay, good. I would say, yes, heat or friction or an energy source. Yep, because it can be fire, it can be electricity. But clean, controlled environment, and an energy source, 0.5 point each. Who on your team had the coolest spinner and why?
Happy night.
It's also weapons.
It's not true.
It's also
And I can like carry it with me and I will always be safe. Mine has three different buttons.
But
I have proof.
I know. I have proof of a lot of people's being sharp as well. Your answer was good.
Yeah.
We said mine.
We all
Yep.
said mine.
We all
Okay.
said mine.
You have to agree like the points, like I feel like your whole team has to be.
We did. The answer is mine.
Mine.
See,
The answer was the word mine.
Yeah.
Their answer was the word yours.
Yeah.
Because they were being
They
magnanimous.
wrote mine and then clarified.
Okay, all right.
so we were unanimous.
And-
Ours was
and
unanimous.
Yours was unanimous.
Our
Okay.
answer was yours.
Okay, honest, very good, nice.
Whoa.
Kosh, and that is the emails right there.
That's pretty patriotic.
It
It is very
it is.
We didn't get this far, to be honest.
Okay.
You said nobody's a winner?
Nobody's a winner.
Or everyone's a winner?
Nobody's a winner seems a little negative.
No winners.
Oh, okay, they're both sick.
Yeah.
Did you choose? Anybody back there choose in the back row?
Lexi's is the only one with a face.
Okay. So Lexi's is this one?
True. An actual clown face.
You can also plug something into Lexi's. It won't help, but you can plug something in. No, I mean, it's not the powered in, so you'd be fine plugging something into it.
How many points?
Yeah, how many points?
How many points?
7.
If you answered the one with the most surface area will be the coolest, then you get 2 points.
What?
Oh, yeah, clearly, convective cooling. And it will also radiate the most. If you put an answer down, you get a point.
Yes. Let's go.
All right, who got 23 points?
I don't.
Wait, you gave us 5 for one question. Okay, go ahead.
I want 3.5
We
sig
have
figs.
28 and 3/4.
28 and 3/4. Can anybody beat 28?
No, we got 28.5.
33. How many do you have?
28.5.
28.5. We have 33.
Oh, 33.
38.
Whoa.
All right. Did anybody beat that? Okay. For 38 points, you're unlikely. You win, and you are unlikely to fail the class.
Wait.
Oh my my goodness, sorry, you might fail now. They got 44 and a half.
Oh! 44.25.
Did you do that right?
Okay.
Now we can say